Sure. Yeah, happy to get things started as much as I can. Give a little intro on myself. So my name is Dr. Joey Gawrysiak. I'm the director of esports at Shenandoah University, which is in Virginia, about 50 miles to an hour away from Washington, D.C. And I oversee the program here at Shenandoah University on the competitive side and the academic side. And as you can see, we do have an esports arena right here on campus. Eric, this probably looks pretty familiar to you, the space that you're in a lot. But what I get to do is I grow the program and find opportunities for our students in and through esports. And I've been at the university for about 10 years now, and I've been directly involved in the esports program for 4 years since we started it about 4 years ago on the competitive side. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work, and certainly the students have a large role in what we do. Just trying to find the best opportunity that we can for students in and through this idea of esports, both competing and learning, hopefully to find a career in esports or at least directly related to esports. So yeah, a lot of fun, great students in the program, and looking forward to some conversation today with you all.
So I'm Maximus Ametorgoh. I'm the founder of Esports Academy and the international relations for the Esports Association of Ghana.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Gyamfi. I am a junior at Shenandoah University with Dr. Joey Gawrysiak and all the other professors out there. Taking my undergrad there, and I'm an Air Force vet, and my first time here in Ghana.
Ooh, welcome to Ghana.
All right, so the first question is Collegiate Esports pathway to student development and empowerment. We'll go with you, Prof. What are your take on this?
Wow. I think that what esports offers is an opportunity for education that we haven't seen before, where it provides something that students are interested in, and you can learn a lot of skills, yes, in esports for possible career pathways, working in the esports, maybe even in the gaming industry. But what's really cool about esports is that it offers opportunities to get transferable skills outside of esports as well. And so by competing on the teams or studying about how to run an esports event or produce an esports broadcast or production or coach an esports team, you're learning skills, some of these soft skills like communication, teamwork, adaptability, that will transfer to a lot of other areas and other industries. Learning how to run an event, you learn about social media, you learn about marketing, you learn about how to work as a team and problem-solving skills and adaptability. Again, things that transfer to other areas. Same thing with the broadcast production side of things. You're learning about graphic design and video editing and content creation. So just because you're learning about something through the lens of esports doesn't mean you have to work in esports. So career and professional development pathways that we focus on here at Shenandoah in and through esports are really important and varied because there's so many different opportunities in education to get a degree, but also to get a viable career both in and through esports. And so it's really great that if universities can leverage the opportunity that esports presents, it really provides something that hasn't previously been there. So esports is a new field, but it's an exciting and a growing field that just offers something that we haven't seen before, that students are really passionate about, and where we see a lot of career opportunities developing.
I think with my time at Shenandoah University, I think what I really love about the program is how it's student-centered. And it kind of pick and choose what skills you want to pick up because there's so many broad skills around, from content creation to being more of a gamer in the sense of a varsity team, or even what I'm doing out here, to coming out and connecting with different people in different organizations. So one thing I really learned is how there's so many different aspects of esports that I didn't even really know about. And I think that's what being educated on esports really kind of opens up, much more than just picking up some controller and gaming and stuff like that. There's much more that goes to it. So that's really beneficial, I think, with any really good esports program.
Great, Max.
I think it's quite fantastic. I love the idea of the multidisciplinary nature of esports, from the content creation to branding to social media to marketing, even sponsorship marketing, right? And developing the skills to even play the game, to game development, understanding the game engine and the mechanics of gaming or game development, even understanding storytelling using games and all that. So I'm quite excited. And I'm sure for university, most of the courses that people are even running on the campuses can be interlinked to what the esports industry, and from, I'm sure, administration to any other course, you can find a way of adapting it into the esports space and it will fit perfectly. And I will admonish universities in Ghana to start thinking about having the beautiful arena that you have in your school, and then training the skills of the students. This gives you the opportunity to network, socialize, and develop other skills that the typical academic environment will not give you.
How can universities enter? What are their first steps? Is it community building? Is it building an arena? Is it the infrastructure? How would you want?
I think it has to start with the understanding of what esports is, the fact that traditional sports is moving to the digital space. It's already there, right? With millions of people playing games on their mobile phones and then having consoles. People visit their friends and they play games together, or even play games across different country boundaries, right? So for a university, I believe that if they start organizing tournaments on campuses, maybe inter-hall tournaments or interdepartmental tournaments and all that, it will create some excitement on campus. And if you're also running external, maybe championships amongst universities, some of the universities will be forced to look for talent within their schools to represent the schools, and that's how they start building the interest in the community. And then the next stage will be, okay, how do we get an arena, a simple place where we can put consoles and PCs together so people can learn and hone their esports gameplay skills. Then from there, they can build a proper arena with all the infrastructure that they need so that they can compete more competitively. I think that should be the way forward. They should progress gradually.
Okay, Eric, you've been a student of esports. On the student front, what are the pathways? What are you looking out for, and what you wish that the courses get?
For a perspective program, what I look for as a student, right? I think you guys kind of touched on it. Really, is there equipment,
Right.
for me to play said game, whatever game that might be, and also is there curriculum in place to help elevate me to whatever career field in esports that I would like to go into. I think just from my own experience, 2 years ago, I didn't know what esports was really an industry. I knew of video games, but my wife said, hey, you need to get into you need to get a degree, she said. I said, okay, sure. And then, I had to do something that I liked. And so I kind of, dabbled and looked over and found esports. And what drew me to Shenandoah, for example, was that they had really a curriculum that said that, hey, whatever you really wanted to achieve in esports, you can get some sort of pathway here. I think that if a program really hones in and focuses on what they can offer to students in a sense of content creation or, broadcast production or even event management, which is a pretty big deal nowadays, that would really entice a lot of students because they see esports as an actual real career. Right. And I think that belief system, even in the States, is still growing, where parents are thinking, well, I don't want to send my kids to do esports, but now they see the actual career that it can be formed from esports. I think that's really motivating people to get into esports.
Okay, great. I think that Max,
Yes.
Next question. How can, okay, I think we talked about how universities can leverage. We spoke about how they can enter.
Right.
How can universities then leverage on esports for growth? So, for instance, you did a presentation at UPSA,
Right.
and the teachers were marveled and they wanted to start certificate courses. So, how can universities leverage on esports? Is it only doing courses or empowering students?
I think the first one is empowering students, because whatever education you are giving the student at the end of the day is supposed to empower them economically, or whichever interests that the students have, or whichever objective you the institution wants to achieve. So for me, the first thing is what value are you going to create introducing the esports course to the students. And since it is multidisciplinary, from your marketing department or your marketing faculty, or branding, advertising, sponsorship, even the education aspect. How do we inculcate esports into education so that people can learn some subjects even just by wearing virtual reality gadgets, so that they can see the galaxy, the anatomy of the human body, visit some tourism sites, or walk on a mountain top, or even take a dive into some water or some sea and see the creatures in the sea. Those are things that esports or video gaming can give the schools to augment their learning experience. So for me, of course, the value is very important. Running courses is very important. Partnering with universities like Eric's University is also very important, so that you can share ideas and transfer knowledge amongst yourselves, and at the end of the day make the students better, so that they don't just come and learn books and go, but they will live with more holistic skills in various fields.
Okay, great. Eric, what do you hope to achieve with your degree or master's in esports?
So, I think in the beginning, I was kind of searching for that answer too. You know, like, what do I really want to do with esports? But then it became clear that there's so much room for growth in esports. It's still very, very new. I mean, Africa in general is so ground level, and even Southeast Asia is just blowing up at the current time. So I believe that, you know, what we see in North America and what we see in Europe is the same thing we can have in Africa and Southeast Asia. You know, why not? You know, why can't we have professional organizations, you know, not only creating millions of dollars in revenue, but creating many, many opportunities for young kids and young adults to really have a career. And that's something that I want to do, is to learn how an organization works and bring that same system over here to Ghana and different parts of Africa. Because I believe not only do we have the people, but if we have the right people involved, we would have the right resources. And we can have all the same things that we have here over here in the States, right here in Ghana. So that's really what my key focus is to bring what I learned over there here in Ghana and really create a pathway for a lot of people to pursue really what they want in esports, because they have the right facilities or right resources to go and achieve that.
Amazing. Wish Prof was here, but we need to move on. My next question will be teams in the universities. So I know in Charlotte you have a team, esports team, and there's a collegiate league, big league in US that the universities. You have organized tournament. I saw you do a tournament with racing. It's cycling, right?
Like racing.
It was really interesting, which I hope that from here we'll talk about it, because we want to bring it out.
Sure.
It's teams, and I and Max has been talking about building teams. In your perspective, is it the way to go, or we need to build on more individuals? Or What's your perceptions about teams?
So teams in the sense of like a particular game
Yes.
for university or like professional?
So in the university.
In the university level.
Yes.
Yes.
We're talking about university students.
Straight, yes. I believe that's great. I think it depends on the game and the interest level of that game. You know, the light racing league that we did was a very fun event, and it was like, you know, mostly 1 versus 1, so very, you know, simple. I know FIFA is really big here, and you know, different like PUBG and stuff. But you know, I believe like Overwatch is very popular in the States. So I believe there is value in, you know, going towards a team-based, you know, events with different games. I think it really kind of goes to if there is the want for that, you know, if there's the interest for that. And I think, you know, once you do that, you can always easy to set it up. You know, you can have a coach, you know, you can find that, you know, it's just someone that is really into the game, and then they can help coach a team up. And before you know it, if one university has it, 2, 3, 4, you might have 10, and then you can really start a league, kind of how we have NACE in the States, where we have, you know, I don't know how many colleges, I don't want to say a number, but it's a lot of colleges that we have in NACE, and that's what we were part of that league, and it kind of grows from there.
Okay. Max, teams.
Yeah,
Teams in the schools. For instance, UPSA versus KNUST, what would be the roadmap for us? Because for me, we tried using the sports direct rates. Sometimes we don't understand. Then the student body likes to work with, let's say, the SRC and stuff like that. How do we build teams on campuses?
I think to take it global and to formalize it, you require the university's involvement, not just the SRC. The SRC can drive it. The SRC can get some engagement with the university on behalf of the esports community, irrespective of the level of their development or engagement, so that the university can buy into the idea of having a university esports team to represent the university in different competitions that are organized targeting the various universities. And of course, we've done some events for some of the universities before. So they should have that team. They should have, the various universities must have either the team. The last time, the one that we launched in UPSA is the IT department, right? They need to organize maybe some tournaments so they can get the best of students from various departments, forming the core team of the university, and then the other universities should adopt the same method. Then maybe the sports directorate will see it as a way of, you know, becoming the umbrella body in charge of that form of sports and introducing electronic sports into the traditional scheme of sports activities.
Okay, great. I think that's kind of exhausted a bit of what we want to say. We can't go on forever.
Yeah.
So your last words and your encouragement. Eric, you go first.
Sure. First of all, I just want to thank.
Unless you have something else to say, but I will edit this so you can go on and talk about you coming here and all that you want to do.
Sure. Yeah, I just first of all want to thank both of you for having me here. I think it's awesome, and hopefully this will be a long-term partnership with, you know.
We should have done a tournament for you, but
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
next time, right?
Yeah.
Next time.
But you said you go to Kumasi and come back.
Yes, I'll be.
So why is you are here for 2 weeks?
Yeah, almost 2 weeks, like about 10 days altogether. 10 days. So
We still need to do something for you.
Right.
yeah,
And
Next
so
Saturday.
we have Crash Royale.
Yeah, we can do a side attraction.
Yeah.
Do your tournament and
But
side
you will be
attraction.
in Kumasi by then.
Oh, okay. Saturday,
the 10th. What day is that?
11.
11th.
Saturday, 11.
Okay, I might be in Kumasi. I will see. We'll see.
All right.
Because there's this tournament here on Saturday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, if I'm here, I'll check it out. I'll come by and check it out. Yeah, but I think it's awesome. It's just coming out here and seeing how things are on the ground level. Because this is the first time I'm in Ghana.
All right.
You know, this is the first time, so it's kind of a culture shock, you know, and I realized things are very different operating here than operating over there where I've been. Even when I went to Thailand, things are operated different here. And that's, you know, it's a good thing, and there's, you know, of course, some challenges that come with that as well, but I just believe that, I really believe that if we can really organize and put, not even a governing body, but like a universal understanding between the universities, and like you said, if it can be taken to the dean or the president and is taken seriously by the university, and that's what it's been started to take place over in the States. 5 years ago, no one pretty much had an esports program. No university had an esports program. The past 5 years, hundreds of universities have now esports programs. And every year, more and more universities, they have more positions open for director of esports than they have candidates to fill the positions. And that's how fast it's growing. And really, you see the esports kind of put into that sports department. You know, they're kind of like, okay, well, where do we? It's new, so they're trying, should we put it here or should we put it here? You know, so it's still in this new gray area. But I think you understand that people are starting to take it seriously, and it's only a matter of time before 5-10 years you'll see an esports budget, you know, $1 million plus. I mean, there's universities that have huge facilities, $1 million facilities, you know, like Boise State and Full Sail University, they have broadcast production facilities that are, I mean, amazing. They invested a lot of money in there. And I think that is going to also show in the salary of the esports directors and people in those positions, is how serious you really take esports. And I think that once people over here, you know, the heads here in Ghana see how, because we're still so early that if it's adopted early here, Ghana can still have a jump start on many places in the world. In the US, in the UK, in Asia, we can still be in the forefront. And I think that's just what it is, really believing it, adopting it, and then, you know, in the years to come, we'll be the premier point of access when it comes to different places in esports.
Fantastic.
Amazing. Ask your last question.
I think Erica said everything. Right, so I think it's how they should do it, not why they must do it, because digital is formatting everything, including sports. And if you're at university and you have a sports team, you should be thinking esports by now. How can we have an esports team that will be competitive, an esports department that will train the chain of skills that is needed in the esports ecosystem, and how can you even partner institutions like Eric's institution, right, the university, to be able to adopt some of the courses, do exchange programs, and transfer knowledge amongst yourselves. I think that is the future, and learning is changing, and esports is redefining learning and sports.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to it, when you look into, I mean, some of these big universities are into communication, marketing, accounting. Almost all these specialist universities like GPA, ESA, every one of them has some kind of portion within the esports space. Because if like the kind of work we do, you have to do accounting. You have to draw a budget for an event. You understand? You have to deal with vendors, and you have to market the product or market the event. You have to do promotions, you know, digital promotions, mass media promotions, all kinds of promotions. So it's really up for the universities to look into new ways of education and alternative ways of employment. The future of work really lies around esports because it goes on human passion and also skill development and youth, which is the biggest. And before you go, what are your takes on Africa? What do you think? Many people think that Africa is the like when we talk about the fourth industrial revolution, like in digital and stuff like Africa has a key. How do you say it? Has a key role to play.
Yeah.
Eric, what do you think about Africa?
I believe Africa is the next, like you said, industrial revolution, the frontier. I think you see a lot of countries, like I've just been here less than 24 hours, and I've seen roads being built by China, and you see this by this country. You see all these people coming in to space, and it's like, oh, there's things that happen here. And I believe that more people are going to realize that in the coming years. And I think that when it comes to esports, I believe that Africa really has the potential to really push that driver forward. Is the only thing they need is the right, exchange of knowledge,
Right.
and the right resources. And I believe that, the sky's the limit. I think when I kind of been here just in a short period of time, I was like, if this was organized in the right way, this, it was like a starship going into space.
Sure.
It's just really about organizing and kind of has to have like a procedure in place that people follow. And I think there'll be so much growth when it comes to everything, esports included.
All right, thank you so much, and we'll end here.